And we're live. Come on in, everybody. Come and hang out, jump on out and say good day. Let us know what you're calling from. We'll just give everyone a bit of time to jump out, enter the room, and then we'll get started.
Yes, good morning, or maybe good evening, wherever you are in the world.
it could be either or both.
Yeah,
absolutely. Trying to find the right time to put a webinar out for a global audience is a little tricky.
It's an interesting challenge.
Kaz and I were on the Gold Coast in Queensland over here. It's just gone 11 a.m. Mike and Andrew in Perth. Is it 2 hours difference?
Yeah, so it's 9 a.m. here in Perth right now.
Yeah.
On the west coast of Australia.
Awesome.
We're having our coffee.
Yeah, we're having
Coffee
a green
o'clock.
tea. Well, I'm having a green tea. Everyone else is having coffee.
I'm having coffee. My one
Yeah.
for
So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people joining us on the replay because it is hard to get that timing right. So welcome if you're jumping in now on the replay. We're just going to give a couple more minutes for everyone to enter in and then we'll get started.
Ooh,
Perfect.
awesome.
So don't forget to jump out, say good day, let us know where you're joining us from.
Yeah, pop your questions in the chat box.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll give it one more minute, I reckon, and then we'll kick off, get started.
Yeah.
So, hey, Melinda, thanks for joining us.
Morning, Melinda.
Morning.
Hey, g'day.
Good to see you
Now-
here.
You can hear us pretty well, all loud and clear? Yeah.
Mike and Ange, can you just let me know, can you see Melinda's
Yes.
Yep.
in the chat box?
Yep.
For some reason I can't.
Looking up here.
Oh, there you go. No, I had to,
Yeah, we've got a hey and a smiley face. There
Yep.
it is.
yeah, cool. Okay.
Right back at you.
She can see us and hear us, no problem, so that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we might dive in. So welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We are Kaz and Craig Makepeace from Why Travel Blog and Mike and Ange Irving. And Mike is the founder of Advanced Business Abilities. And Ange did business school a couple of years ago. And so we've kind of wrote, what did I say?
Business.
Business school. It is business school.
That is business school.
So-
Yeah. It's business school.
Ange and I kind of wrote our fellas into the whole B school world and things that have rolled on from here. So I'm just going to, so welcome Mike and Ange first of all.
Thanks, Kaz and
Thanks,
Craig.
Kaz.
We're here.
Howdy,
How you
guys.
going?
Always good to chat.
Yep.
Yeah, so the purpose of this webinar is I know a lot of you have questions about B school. So, and of course the mentoring group and bonuses that we'll be offering. So we wanted to give you a little bit of insight into B school and our journey through B school, but also our journey connecting and collaborating, because it really has been B school that brought us together. So it's actually really cool what B school and the community around B school can actually do to enhance your business, but also the connections that you meet with people and the journey that can take you on. So I just wanted to share briefly a little story about how that happened with the four of us. I do think it's quite an amazing story, and Ange and I, we are very similar in the way that we think about how the universe helps align things, and I love how Steve Jobs says about connecting the dots, and we can only connect the dots when we look backwards. And the moment we met is a big dot for me that I look back on now and I see how it was a big moment. Obviously, I didn't realise it so much at the time. I knew something was happening, and it's brought us to where we are now. So I did B school in 2013, really loved it. I didn't know about business and I was struggling and stuck. And Craig will talk soon, but he was the one that actually introduced me to Marie Forleo. And did B school, really changed my thinking and my attitude, and really helped to give birth to the right business for us. And I knew about the bonuses, and I joined some people in their bonuses, and I didn't really get anything out of it. They kind of just dropped us in it and didn't really carry through on supporting as they had promised. And I really didn't like that because I felt like I was floundering on my own. So when the opportunity came for me to become a partner with B School, I thought, I really want to do this. I don't have the time to create a course of my own. And I believe in B School. I know it can help people. This is an opportunity for me to help mentor people, which is something I really love to do. And I wanted to deliver value to help people so they weren't floundering through the course. Now, Andrew was one of the first people that joined up B School with me. And I remember this moment so vividly. We were on our road trip and we were down in Queenscliff, Victoria, and it was raining. And we were looking for a place to eat. So Craig ran out to check this local pub. And as he was inside looking, I got an email from Ange, and she explained how she really related to our journey because had been through some financial challenges and etc. And then she shared with me that she had just received news the day before that she had a tumour on her kidney. And I remember I was sitting in the car and I just was crying. And I couldn't believe it. I thought, here's this woman. And at this time, I was really feeling really small and insecure. And I got your email and I thought, how can someone be so brave? And you were so bright and so positive and be presented with this challenge, but I'm still diving into B School. And at that moment, I thought, I can't do this. I'm not strong, or I'm not brave or courageous like that. And here's this woman that's entered in my life. I don't think I can do this. And it wasn't until about a day later that I thought, you know what, I need to get over myself and stop feeling so small. If this person can take on B School as well as overcoming a tumour, then I can do the best that I can do. I can't help you with cancer, but I can do the best that I can do. So you really, really inspired me to make that mentoring group as good as it could be. And I just think that shows about how life works and how things come around full circle. B School brought us together in that way. You inspired me in many ways, and from that we've become friends. Your husband Mike now coaches me in a business coaching, and now we've collaborated on courses together. So it's just really incredible, and I wanted to share that so people understand the impact that B School can have on your life in lots of different ways. So I don't know, Ange, if you want, I'll throw it over to you now. If you want to share a bit of your story joining B School and the challenges that you were faced when you decided to leap in regardless.
And it's so funny that you tell that story, because I can remember it like it was yesterday, yet it feels like it was a lifetime ago. And it was only in 2014. And I was one of those people who had delayed signing up for B School because I was like, oh, it's not the right time. I'll do it next year. And then, it was February 21st. I remember the date that, we'd been to the hospital and they told us I had a tumor on the lower lobe of my right kidney. And apologies for swearing, but I was like, screw this. I'm doing B School. And the next day I signed up, and I had been following you guys for a while. And for me, I was like, they're the only people I'm going to sign up through because, they're my people. I could feel it. And if you feel that way about someone, even if you've never met them in real life, I always suggest trust those feelings, like trust your gut instinct, because it worked out to be almost a miracle for us, because we've been able to go through the B School curriculum. I've been able to take that learning and apply it. And now, we've created our first product together, which is really based around helping people get the most out of B School. So, and if anyone's wondering about my tumor, I'm recovered from that. I have a zero prognosis of it coming back. I had some major surgery. I took 6 months off to recover. And during that 6 months, I was lucky enough to be able to go through B School really thoroughly and apply the theories that I've learned to Mike's business to help bring him online and make him visible but also to be able to develop that collaboration. So yeah, the world works in mysterious ways, for sure.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And then Mike, you've gone from 0 to 60 live events now, and you've got your online business up and running. You've moved it from a traditional offline business. Do you what now? I think when Ange was deciding about B School, I think you thought she was a little bit crazy.
Just a little bit, yeah. Ange had already done like numbers of different courses to, you know, learn about online and websites and online marketing, and look, the truth is that those courses hadn't worked from my point of view. We had spent really good money, in fact more money than what B School costs, and the results, or a result, hadn't been there. So I was pretty skeptical. I was pretty skeptical, and in fact I think I actually said, come on, I don't think it's the right time. Let's not do this. Thankfully she didn't listen, because yeah, I had been running my offline business for 8 years or 7 years at that point in time, and look, I was pretty happy doing that. For me, it was about, I had lots of referrals, people were sent to us, we were developing a really good product and service, and I didn't understand the online world, and it was like a whole different learning curve to think about how am I going to actually use that. And as Ange went through the program and started to talk me through it and started to actually implement things and help me to see how to use it, it's like, oh, finally, I'm glad she didn't listen to me, and finally we've spent some money on something that really works, something that has integrity behind the service. It's not just somebody there flogging something to steal your money. It really works. So yeah, I'm glad she didn't listen, and the journey from there has really taken us from strength to strength in taking that business into the online world.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so great. And Craig, well, you introduced me to Marie Forleo.
Yeah.
So how did you feel about the whole thing?
That's a funny situation, I guess. As Kay said, I introduced, well, not physically, obviously, but
I wish.
That would be, yeah, soon. Yeah, I still can't remember. It's been a few years now, but I can't recall how I first come across Marie, whether it was a referral through somebody else or just stumbled on her. But I started watching Marie TV, which, if you're not familiar with, her daily YouTube videos. Weekly YouTube videos, sorry. They go for like 5 or 10 minutes and talk about all aspects of business. It could be just her talking or interviewing other entrepreneurs and stuff. And yeah, I just found her really engaging, really insightful, really personable. And I thought, oh, Kaz could relate to someone like Marie. And we're just getting started in our business, and obviously she'd come across as someone very successful. She'd partnered with people that we'd looked up to, like Richard Branson. She'd been on Oprah show, and Anthony Robbins, of course. So she had a lot of credibility, and so I passed her on to Kaz. And the way that we used to operate, still actually, Why Travel Blog, Kaz does certain aspects of the business, and I was busy with photography, the social media. Kaz does more of the narrative articles. I do the destination type pieces, and I was working in construction at the time, 40 hours a week. So I was busy with that sort of things. And Kaz started watching Marie TV, and then come up to the B School opportunity. Obviously we had a discussion. It was an investment for us as well. At the time, we weren't doing very well financially. We just come through a lot of struggles. But as far as the travel blog goes, from day one, we always wanted to treat it like a business. It was not something that we wanted to do just to update family and friends about our travels and stuff. We knew there was way too much involved in that. Like, we could have just used Facebook or whatever. So we wanted to treat it as a business from day one, and we knew we needed a mentor or a coach, somebody that we could get to where they want, that get us to where we want, where they've been. I'm not saying that correctly, but
yeah,
probably understand what I mean. So we had a discussion. She jumped into B School, and Kaz went through the 8-week training, and I was doing my side of the business and stuff. But what I did love was the ability to be like a fly on the wall, I guess. Part of the training is 8 1-hour live Q&A calls. So You could either jump on live or they're recorded. So we used to download those and listen to them in our headset or when I'm driving. Obviously, we're out and about doing lots of road trips and stuff. So, and I just got so many insights and gold nuggets just from listening to her live, like 8 hours of Marie live, just raw, just doing Q&A with people. She's talking about how she ran her business, how she started, how she grew it, how she scaled it. Answering people's challenges, how to be creative, how to look at branding, marketing, because that was the challenge that we were worried about, how to sell our products and services, how to brand ourselves, and how to market without coming across as sleazy and try hard and whatever, and get our messaging right and talking to the right customers and attracting the right people into our business. So. Yeah, I was like a fly on the wall in like a boardroom with somebody who's a eight-figure business owner, and it was just incredible. So that just that aspect of it was that sold it for me, just right there. Besides everything else on top.
Yeah, and it was funny even because we were listening to the recordings when we were road tripping, and so Kalara would be like, "Oh, are we listening to Marie Forleo again?" Yes, girls, listen. You're going to learn a lot if you listen to it later.
Yeah, I mean, the smartest 6-year-old out there. It was part of our life.
Yeah.
So it's very cool. But
yeah, cool. So
yeah,
I mean, those live calls to me were extraordinary. And what I really got a lot out of because of that and the entire course was with B School. She's not standing up there telling you, you must do it this way and you'll only be successful if you are. She gives you the foundation and the principles, and then the one thing she would repeat over and over again on those live calls was, here's what I think, this is from my perspective as someone who's been successful, here's my advice for you, but now what I want you to do is go and see how you can apply that to your business based upon your passions, your talents, and what your community wants. And I thought that was the missing ingredient. A lot of courses that I'd done before was they were preaching at me, and I was like, I don't think this really suits what I want to do. It doesn't feel right for me. Where she taught you how to give birth to the right business for you, which I think she has quite an extraordinary way of doing that.
Definitely. I certainly experienced that with when I started the course, because I originally started B School with the desire to be a travel blogger. And when I went to start the right business, I realized that, yeah, I love traveling, but that for me personally, travel blogging probably wasn't the best option. And that's what I really realized, that I'm a nurturer. I like to bring ideas to life. That's where I really shine. And I've been working on, building that muscle for the last couple of years, and B School's helped me implement that framework, which allows me to do that. And so, like Marie saved me years of pain by helping me bring that passion forward and making it okay to let go of what I thought the idea was, Yeah.
I love that. That's really powerful. And that's, go ahead, Mike.
Certainly when you look at that, you go, wow, there was a point where the $2,000 price point was probably, seemed like a lot of money. But when you actually consider that, to spend $2,000 to have 3 or 4 years worth of pain handled, that's a really small price to pay.
Yeah, that's definitely relatable to us as well. Like the time and effort and the money wasted on, websites
so
and branding,
mistakes.
emails, the wrong email systems and structure, all our marketing material, how we built engagement with our audience. We've spent a lot more money than that on getting to where we wanted to be.
I always say if I could start again, because I delayed B School by a year as well because I was worried about the money, and if I had what it took to make it work, I really believed in Marie and I knew her course. I'd seen the incredible results that people had doing her course. I was like watching her silently walking. So I knew that worked, but for me it was, do I have what it takes? But looking back now, and I just think I wish we had it at the beginning, because I know even in getting our site design wrong, because you learn a bit about that in it as well, has cost us so much money. And just how much money we left on the table when we first started blogging because we didn't know what we were doing. And I delayed putting out an ebook for 3 years or something. As soon as I did B School, I had the confidence to put that ebook out, and we made our money back from the investment in B School, you know, triple the amount just in those ebook sales, which we're still continuing to sell. So it is really difficult when you want to invest in a course and you do worry, do I have what it takes? But I know for myself and you guys and many people I've spoken to who have done it said, you know, down the track, and they look back and they think that was actually a really small investment when they look at what they've got back in return from it.
Yeah.
So we might move on now and, you know, talk about confidence in business, and we might pull Mike in because Mike is a business coach. Mike deals with hundreds of clients in, you know, moving through the blocks and the doubts that cripple them, lack of self-confidence, lack of self-esteem on a much deeper level, which we've been working on for the past few months. So if we talk about that, Mike, your perspective, someone who's ran a business and now coaches through it, the impact of a lack of confidence and self-esteem on business owners.
Yeah, it's debilitating. In fact, it's the number one challenge that I see faces most business owners, irrespective of how small or large their business is. You know, that you would think that, you know, once you've built your business to a stage where it's doing $1 million a year turnover or $2 million a year turnover, a lot of people think that that means all of a sudden you as the business owner have all this confidence and you're certain about everything and you're really clear in the way that you're thinking and approaching your business. I can promise you that that's not the case. In fact, however you feel at the start of your business, it's highly likely you're going to feel that way as you go through your business, because confidence and self-esteem doesn't come from an external source. It doesn't come from the amount of turnover or profit that your business creates. So therefore, to me, the fundamentals of how to ensure that you're building your own self-esteem and your own self-confidence and building an awareness and an ability to use your intention, that's actually what makes the difference in the speed with which you can implement and the speed with which you can get results. So to me, those things are 100% the most important aspects of beginning your business. Because there's nothing worse than getting to $1 million turnover, $2, $3, $10 million turnover, and still feeling like you don't know what you're doing and feeling like you've got no idea and not feeling confident about your decisions. And here's the thing, I see that happen consistently. I see that in the offline world when I'm coaching clients. That is a reality. We think that people who run these bigger businesses have got it all together. And the facts are they don't. So now, what is that? Does that mean that you can build a business without self-confidence and without self-esteem? Yeah, you can. Absolutely, you can. Which, you know, I think that's really encouraging. And at the same time, it's a lot easier to do it when you develop those fundamental things. So that's 100% my reality and what I've observed.
Yeah, and we've obviously worked on this, and I've it's really interesting you say that about people who, you know, are really successful and up into the 7 figures, that they still feel that way. And I think the first coaching call that we had, you ran some tests on me, and it came up that I had really high confidence, but really very low self-esteem. And I said to you, I don't understand that. Like, to me, why is there such a big difference? I always knew I had low self-esteem, but I thought because I had the high confidence that it didn't matter. I could kind of hide the low self-esteem and I could still continue on with the business. And we're obviously doing well, having great success, but I definitely knew something was amiss. Something wasn't working. And what you said to me, that's when the lights went on for me. And I think it involved quite a bit of tissues after this point. But you said, you know, that you have high confidence, which is why you can get on a stage and, you know, talk to 300 people in a room, no problem. But he said, you said to me, your self-esteem, that shows to me that you must be really exhausted. And that's when I went, oh, yeah, okay, now I understand the impact that this is having on my life. Because, yes, I can get up on that stage and talk, but for days before that talk, I would be stressed, anxious, really critical. And then after that talk, the same, really self-critical. If it wasn't perfect, I mean, it didn't matter even if it was good.
Yeah, and I saw it, obviously, living with you in the same house. I see the stress, the tiredness, and the anxiety. And then when you get up there on stage, like, how many people? 300 and something people at a conference, and I'm like, wow, is this my wife up there? Like, amazing.
You could do that.
Just so confident, and like there's no ums and ahs, just everything just flows naturally, and just speaking, like, you know, amazingly, very empowering to me. And you know, I've spent 15 years of my life with her, and I'm building a business with her, and I'm inspired. And then after it, there's like the lull on that again. So
yeah, it's huge.
Stuff.
That stuff hides under there. You think you've got it under control, and you don't realize how it's impacting your life and creating a lot of blocks in what you do.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Kaz, but I think it's also fair to say that you don't recognize how much it affects not just those decisions. It affects every decision that you have and make in your life. Has that been your experience?
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't realize it. You think a lot of it's just kind of happening subconsciously.
Yeah.
But it has huge impact, and the work that I've done with you, and that's what's within the Confidence Igniter program, has been so easy for me to manage. A really simple system for me to follow to make that change. And I feel like I go throughout my day just depositing really small little acknowledgements for myself. And those small little things throughout the day now has made such a huge impact, because now that critical voice, I hear it so much less. And as you said, I don't have overwhelm or frustration really anymore. I get up of the day, I know exactly what's going to be done. I feel in control, and the stress and then anxiety is really not so huge in my life.
Yeah, and I think that for a lot of people out there that might be thinking, well, do I have what it takes? The answer is definitely yes. And the other answer on top of that is that you'll know even more that you have what it takes if you can implement a few really simple systems that you can use on your own to really solidify that extra confidence and self-esteem that you might perceive that you're lacking right now, because that's all internally created. It is everything about you is 100% okay. Like you can do whatever you choose to, and there are things that you can do that will really change the way that you feel and think about yourself as you go through that journey. Now, I'd love to know, Kaz, what was your experience when you first went through B School, and what is your perception of how much that information may have changed your initial experience of having gone through B School?
So with the tools that we give in the Confidence Igniter, if I had them at the beginning, it would have made such a big difference. I wouldn't have felt, I guess I felt quite on my own, and not having that belief in myself. It was a lot of angst, I guess, a lot of overwhelm, feeling like always, oh, can I do this, and how can I do it in the right way, and procrastination on decisions to be made because of that doubt that was always getting in the way. Yeah, it would have made such a big difference. It would have made it just feel more in flow and a little bit less, a little bit more effortless. Yep. And just the confidence. I mean, it's huge to be able to make a decision, make it quickly, knowing that I've got this pretty much.
Yeah. One of the things I've observed in sort of, you know, being involved in the Dreamer Fools and watching from sort of the outside a little bit is that there's definitely an experience for lots of people as they go through B School where you can hit a point of feeling overwhelmed. Is that real to you?
Oh, very much real. And I know just from the mentoring group, which is Mike mentioned the word Dreamer Fools. So if you're not aware of that, the Dreamer Fools is the mentoring group, private Facebook group that we have with our B School bonus. Because the Dreamer Fool is someone who goes after their dream, even though everyone tells them how foolish they are. So yes, I noticed that within that group with the people going through B School, a lot, you know, did feel that overwhelm and that delayed them implementing. And it's interesting to see now, and Ange and I were talking about that, how this year there's such great momentum happening in that Facebook group at the moment because they're getting through the material at B School and they're like, wow, now I get it. This is really, really helping me. And the only thing that was stopping them when they first joined was those feelings of overwhelm that led to procrastination and nothing getting done.
Yeah.
And that's really the thing that the content and the information in the Confidence Igniter, that's the problem that information solves.
Yes.
It helps you to manage yourself in a way where you don't hit that overwhelm if you implement it. It helps you to manage yourself so that you do go through whatever it is you're doing with that level of confidence and a bit of control over it so that you don't feel like you're in the overwhelmed spot.
Yeah, and acknowledging just a quick takeaway from the Confidence Igniter for myself and B School. You know, to be like I'm traditionally make lots of lists. You know, you're going to go through B School. There's a lot of overwhelm of information, and you curate lists upon lists of things that you need to implement in your business and your life. But you know, now through doing the Confidence Igniter, I know to make a be done list, a to be done list, to make it done, and then acknowledge the done, which I've never done. I've always gone from, like most people probably, just gone straight on to the next task. And like you've coached Caroline and us through the Confidence Igniter, acknowledge the done, because if nobody else does, then you're relying on feedback from other people.
And they're not giving it to you.
Yeah, so you're not giving it to you. So again, you know, your confidence or self-esteem could be lacking. And then, so that's been a good takeaway for me, definitely.
Awesome. Yeah, it's really subtle information that makes a massive difference when you apply it.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be good when we get the people who come into this year and they go through the Confidence Igniter. It'll be just at that point where there's potentially going to be that overwhelmed feeling. So it's going to be a really good way of supporting everyone that little bit extra with things that they can implement to change that.
Yeah. So we just had SJ said, ciao, she's got to run. She'll catch the rest on the replay. No problem, SJ. Thanks for joining us. If you do have a question, make sure you pop it in the chat box and we'll get to questions a bit later on. I know some of you filled out the survey and threw a bit of questions on there. So the information that we're sharing, we're hoping to cover some of those questions for you, but do throw it in the chat box. You can write it in there and then we'll get those answered. So Melinda says the Dreamer Fools is such a great support group. Not only is there support from others at a similar level, that is no silly questions. Only silly question is the one not asked. And Kaz and Craig are always there to provide experience advice. Yeah, sorry, go. Yep.
Oh yeah, just on that, I thought
I haven't moved the phone.
It's a good time to clarify that when you do join B School, obviously there's a big Facebook group connected to B School from people all over the world, and it's like thousands. And again, there's great support in there, great you know, bouncing ideas and stuff around. But because there are so many people, it can be overwhelming again. So the Dreamer Fools Facebook group is our private Facebook group when you join B School through us, and it's how we help people reach their full potential through B School and implement everything that they learn.
And what I love about that group too is that everyone really helps each other, and we have really cool brainstorming sessions. So people say, I'm struggling with a tagline, or here's my sales copy. Can you give me some advice? And I just sort of sit back and watch, and I'm really blown away by how supportive everyone is in there. Even I've put in my copy for my sales page, and like, it's been so good, and how much it has really helped me get clarity. And I know everyone else within the group as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, some people, a lot of people have expressed how like it's a smaller group, but it's a very supportive, very engaged group. We're all on the same level and getting a lot out of it like that.
Everyone always shows up for each other in the Dreamer Fools. So if someone puts up a question, you never ever feel like it's a silly question or a stupid question. And someone always rises up to say, oh, well, give this a whirl, or I've tried this, or what about if you said it that way? And it's, it's like having a good group of friends and coworkers to turn to online. So myself, I left the big B-School group because I did find it was just too much, and I couldn't connect with anyone in there. And I now only remain in both my state B-School group as well as our Dreamer Fools group. So, and places I like to hang out when it relates. Oh, yeah.
And it's great to see even our Dreamer Fools group even connecting offline. A couple of people just met up in Paris, and we've met several Dreamer Fools in real life as well. And that's awesome. Really cool to see that connection. Again, that's another really great thing about B-School is I mean, done lots of courses that have had communities attached, but there is just something really powerful, and it goes to show, I think Marie's really kind of that extraordinary leader that helps facilitate that, but really, really supportive and encouraging.
We're struggling with a bit of power here, so Mike's just...
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm all plugged in.
Okay. Overheating?
Yeah.
Overheating from the temperatures, maybe.
Are we good? Awesome. So we spoke a little bit about the Confidence Igniter. So that came about because the Dreamer Fools group last year, Mike reached out and asked if he could run a webinar with me for the Dreamer Fools group specifically. And so he did a really enlightening webinar and shared his system for change, and it went really well, and I was very intrigued by Mike's approach to, business and what he shared with his system of change. And so Mike then approached me with the idea of, why don't we do live coaching sessions? I can take you through what I do with my clients who spend thousands of dollars for this coaching and information, and we can record it live and then share that as an online interactive coaching program. And so with that program, you get to sit in the comfort from your own home. You don't have to worry about having to share your secrets or anything with anyone, because people are a little bit nervous about that, and go through Mike's system, coaching system, and actually have the tools and strategies to implement it to your own life. And of course, the supportive community will be there as well. And so that will be one of our bonuses that we're offering, and it has a value of $997, so we're offering that as a bonus for people who do join the B-School experience. Is there anything you guys want to add in about the Confidence Igniter program before we move on?
Sure. Well, rather than people revealing secrets about themselves, they get to learn a few of Kaz's secrets instead.
Yes, very raw, very live, and very raw, unplugged. And,
I didn't cry though. I was worried that I would at some stage, but I didn't. I held it together.
Yeah, it is. One of the things that I don't like about the way that people sell online is they say, the value of something's this, and you can buy it for this, and the discounts, is enormous. The reality for this is that for the people that we do coach offline, they do invest $10,000 to get this content and this information delivered to them one-on-one, very personalized. So it is slightly different because it's delivered to Kaz one-on-one, very personalized. And for you, it's can not be as personalized. That that's not a made up value number. That is a real number, and it is really good value for the actual money that people are going to spend in the online version. And if you do B-School, you get it for free. And that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome value. So the most important bit about the value of it is that it works.
Yes.
That's the most important bit. So, getting that confidence and that control and building your own self-esteem, the system's proven to work over the last 10 years, and it works consistently.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone that it wouldn't work with. Like, it's that easy, and anyone can implement it and apply it, whether it's in business or even into their own life. I found it hugely beneficial for me as a parent, because what parent feels like they know what they're doing? And it's just a one day where you, from when you wake up to when you go to bed, your priority is your children, and you don't feel like you know at all what you're doing, and there's a lot of doubt there and a lot of insecurity and overwhelm. And for me, it was my 5 p.m. wine was how I'd cope, and my friends and I would laugh at that. Oh, have you got your 5 p.m. wine? Today I'm having a gin and tonic. But now that's not my reality anymore, because I feel like I'm in control. So the bottle shop's not very happy because they're not getting a lot of money out of me anymore. But it's great. And what I've learned, I'm actually teaching that to my children now, and giving them these tools at an early age, so that they're going to grow up not having to battle self-esteem issues and feeling that confidence and that control over their own lives. So I don't think it just applies in business. It's applicable to any situation in your life.
Yeah, I'm glad you've raised that, because that's absolutely true to me. It's not that I don't see that there's so much of a distinction between business life and personal life, because the two overlap. And if you have something happening in one area of your life, you can be guaranteed it's going to present in every area of your life in some way, shape, or form. And yeah, the information that that we've gone through and that's there, it definitely doesn't just apply to business. Running a business is about creating a life. So whatever you create in your business, you're going to create in your life, and vice versa.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just two other quick takeaways from me from the Confident Igniter. Something that I'll never think about or focus on, and the foundation of the course, I guess, is the structure of your existence. Like you talk about, like there's you, like your soul, your core existence, or your energetic field, and then there's your mind and your body, and then others, and then the connection. Everything's connected through breathing. And I was able to use that just last week. I'm struggling with a resurfaced back injury again. And when I was in quite a lot of pain, I was able to, use that breathing technique that you coach to breathe to my core, to my center, and it alleviated the pain. And then another time when I had my chakras rebalanced recently as well, which is another thing I wouldn't really pay attention to or participate in. And again, it brought up some pain within my body, and I was able to practice that breathing technique again and alleviated the pain. And so it's been powerful, like understanding, like there's your mind that controls your creativity, and then your body, which is like your feedback to your pain, and understanding those connections. So that's helped me in, something away from business with my health. And the laws of exchange. The other quick takeaway, having the confidence to, when we create our product and service, to ask for a value, focus on putting out their great value, and having the confidence to know that we put out the outflow, and then the inflow return, getting valued for our product and service and our time. It's been a big one for us as well.
Totally.
Awesome. That brings to my attention something that I have observed and believe is true, and I think when I say it, you'll agree, is that 90% of life has to do with what I refer to as the invisible. So the invisible is your thoughts, your feelings, the energetics of life. You know, you're an energetic being, or you might say a spiritual being. That invisible aspect of life is a really, really important part that doesn't get attention from many places, and it certainly doesn't. You don't get taught how to do that in many places, and that's the foundation of the Confidence Igniter program. Because if you're going to go and create a business, well, there's a lot of thoughts, beliefs, feelings, and sort of energies that will influence the way that you go about creating that business. Melinda's just typed a few things in here. I often find someone else asks a question I hadn't thought of, but think, oh yeah, I need to know that. Yep. And I agree that confidence and mindset are so important, perhaps the most important thing. Yeah, I agree 100%. And that's that invisible aspect that really is an important part of our existence. I can absolutely vouch for doing B School with Kaz and Craig, and I always find a nugget or two of great advice in Mike's emails. I didn't even know you got my emails, Melinda. I'm so glad you did. It's so good to be in a group of others, especially others in the travel field. Yeah, awesome. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, Melinda. Very good.
Thank you. Well, I think you just mentioned about value, and so I think we might talk a little bit more about that, because it does lead into the other bonus that we're giving, which is my 30-day money cleanse. And so the impact of a healthy relationship with money, you know, that's just in life in general, but especially with business. And I know, you know, with people I mentor, or, you know, I get a lot of people contacting me and asking questions, and I can tell immediately almost by what they're saying that they have an issue with money. They have an issue with asking for their worth, some limitations there. I had one person tell me that the reason she couldn't make 6 figures in travel blogging was because she was a woman, and it was just different for women. And the only reason that we could was because we had a man on our team. And, you know, that's just not reality, because if there are people out there doing that, that means it can be done. And so that's an instant. You have a limitation there, you have a block. And a lot of these, we don't realize they're there, but they are, as Mike will say, pulling the rug from under your feet, and you're sabotaging. And unless you can work on that relationship with money and see what it's there for, understand your own value and raise that, will then things start to move smoothly for you. So I don't know if you wanted to share about the impact on money and business.
Well, I'm probably going to relate it back to my experience with the money cleanse, because I've done the money cleanse twice now, and I did the very first round of the money cleanse. And like any relationship that you have in life, sometimes you get hurt. And, you know, through our 20s to our 30s, we had a real roller coaster with our relationship with money. And we had loads of it at different times. And then we've had, you know, a time when we were a day away from declaring bankruptcy and ended up selling all of our properties that we worked so hard to invest in. So when I moved into my early 30s, I really had, you know, I still have this desire to have the life that I want, and money plays such a big role in that. And with the practice of the 30-day money cleanse, so it's a practice. There are daily practices that you put in, just like when you practice yoga or if you practice meditation. It helps you look at that relationship, and it helps you feel where you are in it. And then it gives you a chance to forgive yourself and repair that money relationship, and then being able to welcome more of it in. Because, you know, I went through a process of forgiving some of the monetary decisions that I had made, or I maybe stopped laying so much blame on Mike for some of the decisions that he made. Really important things to move through. And the money cleanse is awesome for facilitating that for you. And you might not, like, I didn't even realize that some of the thoughts that I was having were impacting me. So, for example, my parents always used to say, money doesn't grow on trees. And as a kid. And so, you know, that come up for me quite a bit through inspecting that relationship that I have with money. And well, money does actually grow on trees because it's made out of paper, you know.
Exactly.
Start planting the seed.
And yeah, so your relationship with money and business is both a personal relationship, but also ties back into that, you know, what are you willing to receive for the service that you provide out into the world? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a pretty similar relationship actually with money. I was fortunate to have a successful sporting career for a period of time, and you know, had a lot of money coming into my life. But there was something missing around the relationship and the energy of the money. And growing up through life as well, I had a similar belief, like, or a goal. I just want to be comfortable. I just want to have enough. So obviously what happened, I always just had enough. I was just comfortable. But yeah, like I said, I was fortunate to have a lot of money come in through sporting career, and then initially through real estate. We did quite well through real estate investing. But then again, the energy and the relationship around the money, there was no gratitude, there was no love, no respect for money. Like as soon as it'd come in, we'd find a way to force it away again. And that's true of any relationship, like you said. If the relationship is not there, it's not going to hang around long. And if you're grateful for what you've already got, you're not going to attract more of it. So that was a repetitive pattern for years. And then, you know, we dabbled in other online businesses and stuff, but we had the wrong intention around money as well. We're doing it just for the money. We're chasing the money. And if we kept chasing the money, it kept leaving us. It wasn't until we come across, you know, doing our travel blog now, we had more of a purpose and intention behind things, that the money started hanging around and it started flowing more effortlessly. And then what the money cleanse did for me, like you said, it helped me acknowledge that I had a bad relationship with money, bad energy around money, and I forgave myself for losing 2 real estate, losing 2 houses, being heavily in debt and credit card debt, and having to move home at 35 with 2 children and live with my parents. I'm like, the self-esteem was just, you know, -10. No superannuation, no savings, and not knowing what I'm going to do with my life. But yeah, the money cleanse, like it's hence the name. It cleansed some bad habits, some bad beliefs and thoughts around money, and helped me create new habits. I used to be frustrated by money. I used to, you know, run away from opening up bills, resenting having to pay bills. Now I'm grateful that I'm paying a bill. I'm paying for a service that helps me grow my business and bring more money into my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to, you know, like a lot of people, you know, rich people were selfish.
Yeah.
The old Midnight Oil song, you know, the rich get richer, the poor get the picture.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with Midnight Oil at all. But now I use the analogy, you know, there was Craig that had no money. So I had no money to help other people, and I had no time to help other people because I was busy working my ass off, you know, 60 hours a week. And now I do have more money coming in. I have money to help other people when I want to, and I have time to help other people as well. So the more selfish Craig is the old Craig, in a funny way.
Yeah.
And Mike, what's your perspective from as a business coach, and the impact on money that you have seen and come across?
Money is I've spoken a little bit about the invisible, and in the invisible, there's energy on certain topics. Like somebody can feel uncomfortable about something, or you know, there's energy on certain topics. And my experience has been that the topic that has the most energy on it, more than anything else, is money. Money is the source of, you know, so many relationships that break up, they break up because of arguments around money or differences of opinion about the way they look at money. Businesses are really revolve around cash flow, and that's a money topic. So money's got lots of what I'll call illogical beliefs about it, illogical thoughts that occur in people's space. So 100% your relationship with money is going to impact the way that you run your business and make decisions in your business. So, you know, if you don't inspect the thoughts and beliefs and ideas that you have about money, that can have a really big impact on what you create in terms of money. It'll have a huge impact on your relationship with your partner in terms of what you create regarding money. So, and if you and your partner don't have a similar way of looking at and thinking about money, if you don't really thoroughly communicate with each other about that topic, it creates upsets, it creates problems. So it is really fundamental to making sure that you achieve in your life.
Yeah, totally. And I like how you spoke about inspecting, which is, it has such a great alignment with the confidence igniter, because we do a lot of that within there. But that's in creating the money cleanse, what I really wanted to do was help people inspect their money relationship and then give them tools and strategies in order to cleanse and create a better relationship. Because I think what I've discovered, and I was a great example of it as well, is that, you know, this idea of, well, money can't buy you happiness. And so I think a lot of people have that idea. And so what they end up doing then is saying, well, money's not important, so I'm going to push it over there and I'm not even going to focus on it. I'm going to hide the bills. I'm going to pretend everything's okay. And really what they're doing is destroying their own life, because the fact is money is important. It's a value exchange. So it's very reflective of the value that you place upon yourself. And
Yes.
I mean, let's face it, we can't eat, we can't get shelter, we can't get clothing without money. So it is important. And the more we stop trying to push it under the cover and pretend that it's not, and the more we inspect it, the better we can feel about it. And as Craig said, eventually have that nice energetic flow happening, believing in our value, and then that's the more we can actually do for other people.
Yeah, that I agree. The other thing I think is important is to know that money is one form of measurement of your level of achievement in life. And it's only one form. There are multiple ways of measuring achievement and measuring whether or not you've done what you wanted to do and measuring what you've created. And I would even go so far as to say that money is not the most important one. To me,
Right.
it is actually way down the line. And it is a way of measuring. And that's really all it is.
And so for you, what would you say then is the most important measurement?
Well, I think one of the most important measurements is wealth. And I'm not referring to money when I say wealth. What I'm referring to is, you know, what you've learned, the experiences that you've had, the memories that you've created, the relationships that you've built, the number of people and organizations that you serve, the service that you've provided. To me, those are all more important than the amount of money that you might have in the bank.
Right, because that's just a number, really. What's more important is what you just mentioned.
Yeah.
I think it'd be great for you to write a blog post for us on that, because it really ties in with our messaging on my travel blog, is travel more, create better memories. So to build that wealth, you know.
Well, to me, it's true, because if you really think about it and look at it, I mean, you know, this is money. You can't take it with you. When you leave your body, and we all will at some point in time, like the body's going to die, money's useless to you. And what I've seen and observed is, your memories, your experiences, the things you learned, the way that you've developed yourself, you don't lose that. That's, you know, that's a part of the invisible that is you. So You know, so therefore, money is not as high a priority as I think most or a lot of people make it. It's kind of like money's a byproduct.
Yes.
It happens as a result of the things that you do and create and put your attention on and work towards. Money's a byproduct.
Yeah.
And it's a really great place to be in. And I know from my past experience, when you're stuck in that frustration with money or the desire to have more, or you're healing those past experiences, when you inspect it, when you move through it, you come out to the place of going, my wealth is actually a lot more than money.
Yes.
And which, which is the great experience of going through and the practice of the money cleanse.
Yeah.
I don't know any really super successful person that has always had money and been successful from a financial point of view. You know, Richard Branson writes in his book how many times he was that close to bankruptcy and liquidation. You know, Donald Trump, same thing. I don't know anybody who goes through life and just always has loads of money.
No.
It does things cyclical. And so therefore, if you're weighting your own value based upon how much money you have, then that says your value goes up and down pretty dramatically.
Yes.
And that way of thinking about it really doesn't help.
Yeah.
No, that's right. I like that. Yes, Richard Branson's book helped me when I read how he lost $500 million on a deal, and I thought, well, my $500,000 that we lost invested in probably not so bad. If he can recover and went on to do everything he's done, then surely I can too.
Yeah, well, he learned just like you did, and just like we did. He learned from that experience.
Oh.
And it's that learning, it's that information and experience and knowledge that, I mean, what is that worth? That's worth so much more than any amount of money in the bank.
Yeah, absolutely. The priceless lessons, like same with us, like, first having to acknowledge, take responsibility for our choices and forgive ourselves. And then until we did that, we weren't able to move forward again. Constantly, learning those lessons and, strengthening those muscles that you need. It's cool.
Definitely. We speak about this sort of thing a lot in our weekly Blabs, Mike, about how, you use the power of everything that happens in your life, good or bad, and you take those lessons and you use the struggle as something that's actually a form of empowerment and helping you grow and become a better person.
Yeah, well, you don't really learn a lot when things are going fantastically well and you're making loads of money and everything is just easy. That's not when you learn. You learn when things are hard, or when you make a mistake, or when you've lost something. That's when you learn. Melinda's just typed in, if you can wake up in the morning excited about how you get to spend your day, that is success. That's awesome. And it also raises a really interesting point, because success is defined differently by every person. Every individual has their own version or their own perception of what success is. And it's a really important point, because I think it's important that you define success and in fact even do away with the concept of success and replace it with whatever your specific definition is. Because that gives you a really clear way of measuring whether or not you're doing the things that are in line with that. So thanks for adding that in, Melinda.
Yeah, thank you, Melinda. Thank you for your enthusiasm as well. It's great to have you on the webinar. Melinda's another Dreamerful that we've met in real life and had coffee with, and yeah, it's just such a treat to spend time with her and have her in our group. I think we'll move on to questions now. So if you have any questions, please do put them in the chat box so that we can answer them for you. I'll just jump into a question that I received by email that I'd like to talk a bit about, and because I know a lot of people struggle with this moving into business, and this idea of, well, I don't have any products, I don't have any services, I'm not quite sure how to make money, I don't want my site overwhelmed with ads, and just this kind of uncertainty about how to make a business work. And especially when you perhaps have a partner as well, and we spoke about that at the beginning when, Mike, you were unsure of whether it was a wise decision for Ange to jump into B School, but that sort of doubt of, well, how can I actually make money from this? So does anyone want to jump in with an answer or a discussion on that idea of, well, how can B School or anything help someone who goes, I've got this idea, but I don't know how I'm going to make money from it?
Yeah, definitely. The very first module in B School helps you to address that. So it looks at pulling together your idea and how do you package that. And so the live example that I have of that is the Confidence Igniter. So the Confidence Igniter program was an idea that was sparked, and then I applied the principles of B School to it and brought it from, you know, an idea that we had over some vinos in the tavern down in Margaret River. Fully functioning, amazing program that we've pulled together. And so I think it's about believing that your idea can become tangible. And what B School does is it gives you the framework to apply to that creativity that you have, to that wild idea, and just to rein it in, break it down, create your list of to-be-dones, and then you just give yourself the time and the space to work through them. Because the deadlines, I think, is the thing that kills you. It's if you say, oh, well, if I do B School, I'm going to be making money by X, Y, Z. Your product might take a little bit longer to grow. It might take a little bit longer to massage. It might take a little bit longer to get it to where you are ready to release it out into the world. And that is 100% okay. But just if you've got an idea of something that you know you can serve people with, and if you've had conversations with someone, if you've told someone your idea and they go, yeah, that's a really great idea, then hey, that's an indicator that you might actually have a product underneath your belt. Mm-hmm. And I've had a few products which I've, you know, gotten to a certain stage and I've gone, no, I'm not into this anymore. And I've left it and then I've moved on. And mm-hmm. now, you know, I'm rolling out something that's worked really well. And yeah, I hope that answers that question.
I'll just add to that as well, because the thing, if you're on this webinar right now, or if you're listening to the replay, what that says, what that means, that the thing that's common between the four of us and you when you're watching this webinar is that you have an aspect or an amount of the entrepreneurial spirit. Mm. You don't look at spending $2,000 US on a program to help you start a business if you don't have that entrepreneurial spirit. And the reality for me is that, you know, entrepreneurialism, starting and running your own business, that is the best self-development program you can possibly do on the planet. Right. Because you're going to learn more about yourself as you go through that process than you will doing anything else. Mm. Now, the reality for me is $2,000 is not a lot of money to invest in that. And it really doesn't work to look at that and go, okay, right, I'm going to spend the $2,000. And in the first year, I want to make sure that I get at least this much return on it. Because you don't know what the time frame is going to be. Mm. You don't know what you don't know right now. Mm-hmm. And you're only ever going to find out what you don't know by starting. Now, what's Dan Norris's quote? Dan Norris constantly says, "You don't learn until you launch."
Yeah.
Yes.
the same concept applies to every stage of business. You don't learn until you do.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and going back to this entrepreneurial spirit, this intention to create something. You're the only one who knows what that feels like to you. You're the only one who really, truly, thoroughly understands that. And so you're the only one who can make the decision of whether or not to move forward with that. No one else can. And if you're, and this might upset people, and if it does, I'm not going to apologize, because this is just what's true for me. If you're allowing someone else to influence that decision, I think that's a mistake. You know, I was really skeptical when Ange was going to do B School, and Ange has got this awesome entrepreneurial energy in her. She wants to create. She wants to offer her value to the world. If she had listened to me and not done it, I can honestly say that right now I'd be pissed off with her knowing what I know.
Yeah. And we wouldn't be here doing this, because that was how
that's right. That's
our
right.
collaboration happened. Yeah.
No word of a lie. We had spent like $12,000 on a different program previously that, okay, yeah, it started the journey. It moved things along. It didn't do anywhere near as much as this. And was like, well, is she actually going to do anything with it? Is she not? I'm so glad she didn't listen to me, or didn't allow that to sway her. Because the thing that I've observed is that the people who are successful in business, they don't allow anybody else to sway them. They don't allow anybody else to stop them or restrict them. They keep going, and they make those decisions on their own. So I would really encourage you, you know, it's important to communicate with your significant other, and please know that they don't really understand how you're feeling. They cannot possibly, because you're the only one who can. So make your decision based upon what you would like to say yes to, and trust me, this is going to be a step in a journey. This is not the final destination. Like, if you think you're going to spend $2,000 on B School and all of a sudden you're earning 100 or 200 grand a year, you're really mistaken. Like, that's not what this is about.
No,
that's step new information.
Yeah, it's totally been our journey as well. I guess we can talk about why travel blog and the initial days as well. Obviously, we didn't have any experience building a business offline, let alone online. But like you said, we had that entrepreneurial spirit. We've never been really job people, kind of miserable in our jobs, and wanted, you know, to create something. But we knew starting our travel blog that it's just like starting any business. It takes an investment of time and some finances. And I understand $2,000 can be pretty scary for some people, but when you put it in perspective, it's nothing like investing in a brick and mortar business, or like $300,000 on a franchise, a Subway franchise or something like that, which can take 2 years to turn a profit. So we, like I said early on, we always wanted to go in having a business mindset from day one, and B School helped us with the tools and the systems in place, how to brand ourselves and have that business entrepreneur mindset. Understanding we had to keep investing ourselves, investing in our business to grow and scale. I guess our brand is our product, which might be a little bit different to some people, because we market destinations. So I understand that the person's concerned about blasting ads all over their site. We didn't do that in our first 2 years at all. We concentrated on building our brand and growing our audience and learning through B School and getting coached and trained how to engage with that community, understand, and before we even thought about monetizing in any way. And then B School helped, like Caroline said, she procrastinated for 3 years on her first product, an ebook. So it helped us, research, launch, and put that out into the marketplace with confidence.
Yeah.
And then the follow-up products now as well. So.
And it's not just been products that we've used the principles for as well. It's also for marketing our services. And before we did B School, we had our amazing dreams about what we could do with our travel blog and how we could take our community on a journey with us. But, you know, in our conversations with tourism boards, when we're working to sell them our dream, it was a no, a no, a no, a no. And then we did B School. Obviously, we learned from those no's, and that's why I really believe there's a lot of power behind rejection. It helps you learn a lot. But B School actually made me change my thinking, and I realized that we were approaching them completely wrong, and we changed our approach, and then it's been yeses now for 2 years or however long that's been. But I think B School, as I said before, helps you give birth to that thing within you, and then opens up your mind to actually discover, as Ange mentioned, the confidence igniter. That was never on our radar when Ange joined B School or I did. It's just something that has grown on your journey. And this is a journey, as Mike said, and we don't recommend anyone taking this journey if they're not joining it with the intention of creating a business and allowing that to evolve and grow from them.
Yeah, and you got to do the work. You got to put in the work. You know, it's not just signing up to a program and outlaying X amount of cash. You've got to, you know, obviously it's not physical work. Like, I've worked a lot of physical jobs over my career, but the initial first 6-12 months of growing White Travel Blog, I worked longer hours than I've ever worked in my life. Like, we gave birth to White Travel Blog when we were living in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm up to midnight starting and growing our website, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and going to work with Delta Airlines. So you have to have that commitment.
Yeah.
I remember those early days of building that foundation, and you know, so you've got to put in the work. Like, it's up to you. You know, invest the time, like I said, and the time and some capital into tools, software, web design, email systems, whatever, and training. And yeah, the coaching, like you're getting coached by Mike now, and having Marie as a mentor and a coach. Now, it's so important. Like, I grew up. I was fortunate to do well in athletics as a teenager. I had a coach as a sprinter, and then as a group coach. And then I specialised in hurdling. I had a hurdling coach through my football career. I had a team coach and a mentor. I was a goal kicker. I had a specialist kicking coach. So I understand, you know, the value in having a coach and a mentor. You know, it's so much value. And now in business, it's exactly the same. And you look around, whether it's sport, business, everybody has a mentor or a coach that helps them fine-tune their game, keeps them accountable, and leads them on the path they want to go to.
And I think that's the thing that's unique about, you know, you can get B School through lots of different people, lots of different affiliates. There's lots of different bonuses. But I think that's the thing that's unique about what we're offering this year, is that, you know, doing B School doesn't mean your business is all of a sudden going to grow. B School's not going to build your business for you. You do that. It gives you great information. It gives you a great way to think about your business, and it gives you, you know, information on how to get certain things done to bring your business online. And it's still down to you to do the work. And the thing that's unique about, you know, what we're providing this year is that we're giving you the systems for how to make sure that you do the work.
Yeah, that's the key. And then, because we don't want you procrastinating on your dream.
Yeah.
We want you to put out into the world what that thing is that you have that feeling.
What's that saying? A special something that you're
offering. Special something that you have to make a difference and get that out there. And we don't want you to delay on that. We want to empower you to do that. And we plan to do that through Confidence Igniter, the Money Cleanse, you know, tackling the confidence and the money relationship, but also the support that we'll offer in our mentoring group. And Angie's going to throw in a couple of tech sessions in there too, because she's our online systems specialist and the tech guru, so she's going to help, because that's a challenge for a lot of people. A lot of people always ask that, well, I'm not technical minded. So we have that support there within our group as well that can help, which is really important, having that support.
True.
Maria's just saying, sorry, she has to go to another meeting. No problem, Maria. Thanks for joining. I think we're going to wrap up in a minute anyway, so you pretty much got the whole thing in. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this has been awesome. Like, I'm inspired to get stuck in the kick off this English. Yeah,
Totally.
yeah, awesome. Yeah.
One of the questions that I get, which I'll just quickly address before we go, is that when I speak to people about B-School, they're like, oh, I'm just not ready to quit my job yet and become a full-time business owner. And I'm still employed. I still have a full-time job that I work at. And B-School and the work that we've done, the systems that are in the Confidence Igniter, has helped to manage my overwhelm and my anxiety about wanting to achieve that goal of being an entrepreneur, being self-employed myself. So it's increased my productivity so that I'm able to get, sometimes I can't even believe how much stuff I can get done in a day because I'm not overwhelmed. But it's also actually helped to boost my career while I'm in this job that I have. So I've taken what I've learned in B-School and I apply it to what I do in my day job. And I've just gone from strength to strength in that what I do during the day outside of my creative projects. And I'm building my confidence so that I can apply it when I do finally move on. So if you're that person that's caught, you're in your full-time career, you've got this idea that you want to blossom, but you're just not quite ready to make that full-on jump into it, I'm totally attest that B-School can help you both boost your career as well as bring those projects to life for you.
Yeah,
awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Just adds so much value and wisdom and insights for you that you can apply in any situation.
Yeah.
And especially in a job, in the job world and the skills that you learn. I mean, I know, Ange, in your job, you're running the digital communications, and you learn a lot about that within B-School itself, and just from taking that journey and learning it just by getting your hands dirty yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes I know more, or I do know more than people who have come out of university and they've studied communications as a degree, and they don't know anything about direct response marketing. They don't understand social media management. They've never seen the back end of a website. They, haven't had a post go viral in both a positive or a negative way, how to manage and because of B-School, I've been able to have all those experiences. So while I'm building those muscles of mine as I apply them to my entrepreneurial projects that I manage outside of my day job, I'm applying them in my day job as well. So I'm constantly practicing and building up those skills. Yeah.
Totally.
That is not something I expected when I joined B-School. Like, that's just a happy little accident that's occurred. But I'm really grateful for. So, yeah.
Great accident. And I tell you, there is nothing like having a negative post go viral.
Yeah, that is
You've arrived.
That's when you really want to use Mike's tools for managing yourself and your confidence and self-esteem. Sorry?
It will have an impact for sure.
Yeah. So I think that's all for our questions. I think we had questions come in the beginning, which we've pretty much covered through our conversation, so we won't take up any more time by going over them now.
Well, it's been 90 minutes.
Yeah, so if you're still on the webinar, thank you so much. I know it's a big chunk of time out of your day, so we do really appreciate that, and we know that investment that you're giving will come back to you. I mean, you're committing to your dream, you're saying yes to it, and just by showing up, that is a gigantic step forward, is what I believe anyway. So thank you. What I'm going to do now is just going to pop out on your screen there and just a link if you want to learn more about our bonuses, there's a link there. You can just click on that and it will take you to a web page with a couple of links that will take you to more information about the Confidence Igniter and the Money Cleanse if you want to do a little bit more research on that and check more of that out now so you can see our bonuses. And the doors to B-School open on February 17th US time, so that's kind of going to go into the 18th over here in Australia because we're more advanced. We're ahead in time here.
Is that link, is that operational?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, so please go and check out more, and if you have any questions, email us. We're happy to answer any more questions that you may have.
Yep, and we might even pop that link in the comments box as well, hey? If we can.
Yes, I will do that. That's a great idea. Right.
Yep.
Just in case technology is failing us and going out. I hope I've got the right link now. I'm trying to remember it. Oh no, I've done that wrong.
You delete it?
I did 218. We're not in 2,116. 106.
We're way advanced in Australia.
Yeah.
Life has been good to us. Wow.
Look how good we look.
We found the fountain of youth.
I have. That's why I grow my girl's hair long. Like Rapunzel, I use their hair for keeping me young. You haven't seen Rapunzel, so Craig's going, what are you talking about?
Is that clickable? I'll just click on it. And
click on it, we'll test it.
Looks good.
No, page not found. Look at this.
We'll get third time lucky. Please excuse us. I've only had one coffee today.
Here we go.
This is a prime example of how we're real people that'll be here to guide and mentor you.
Absolutely.
Oh, B-School 16. There we go.
16. All right.
I've got it now. I've copied and pasted it, so I'm not confusing people. Thank you for your patience.
You delete the old one?
I'll delete the old one, yeah.
That's at the top there.
But isn't technology great that we can just do this on the fly, delete things, delete mistakes?
Well, this wouldn't happen on a Mac.
Really easy.
There, we're good to go. It's also in the chat box.
Awesome.
In case fly out did not work. Great. Well, thanks so much for your time, Mark and Ange, and sharing your insights and wisdom. It's been great chatting with you as always.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thanks for having us.
It's been fantastic, very powerful, great insight.
And we'll see you soon.
Yep.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Hey, guys.